Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Cryptopolitan, your one-stop shop for all news when it comes to cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. I'm your host, Satoshi Shawn. Very glad you're here. If it's your first time here, please hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications. Try to get a video or a news report out to you every day and a weekend report as well. And we started doing coin analysis and technical analysis, price prediction, because that's on the Cryptopolitan, which I'll show you where to look for that in a minute. Today, I'm going to do kind of a price prediction and more of a fundamental analysis, um, and kind of my thoughts on the Bitcoin halving. Uh, it's a big deal. It doesn't happen every day, but when it rolls around, it has kind of traditionally stuck to a pattern. There is a coronavirus pandemic. There is black swan events happening all around us. Oil dropped to negative, a few days ago. So there's a lot of weird things going on, but there's a lot of massive, in my opinion, massive positive things when it comes to Bitcoin, specifically Bitcoin. And there's the usual talk. I'm going to show you our story, what we've written on the halving. Um, and I don't agree with any of it. Well, I do. I mean, I agree that it's true somewhat, but I don't think it affects anything because it's been the same thing when it comes to the technical analysis side of it. So with that being said, let's take a look at what to expect from the Bitcoin halving. Now, the story here on the Cryptopolitan goes over miners are, of course, going to be making half of the reward. Bitcoin did take a dip because the coronavirus and all markets crashed like, depression type, massive, massive crash. Now, here's where I think things change, and I went over this in a story that I did today. I even forget what it was about. Oh, it was about Italy accepting Bitcoin, which is part of this too. Italy is opening trading. One of their biggest banks started trading Bitcoin. Now, this does work into the halving. So the story talks about how this time miners are getting hit with this getting their reward cut in half. And there was this massive price reduction with this big, dip. But that's happened every halving. Before the halving, it hadn't happened this time. I kept talking about it. It's coming, it's coming. There's going to be this massive dip. And this just kind of coincided with the stock market crash. I mean, I'm sure that they were, they had one had to do with the other, but every halving, there's a major pullback. And then there's the halving. There might even be another small pullback. And then after that, it shoots. It's parabolic. It goes up. We did the last run that went up to 20 grand was on par. We're on par for it. If you look at the technical analysis for the past few halvings, it always happens. And there's been other black swan events like Mount Gox. I forgot the word Mount Gox. But this time around, while the world is in chaos, while markets are burning, while everything's terrible, I made the point in my last story about the Italian bank. It's not like that for Bitcoin. I think everything's going to be the same. We're going to have a dip. But after that, it's going to be bigger than ever, in my opinion. I'll tell you why. Everyone has talked about through the past few weeks how Bitcoin is not separated from the market. Bitcoin is not this massive store of value because as the market crashes, Bitcoin crashes. Similar, even though Bitcoin wasn't that bad, but Bitcoin held and came back. The markets have held and came back, and they are very, very similar. But I made the point in my story that the stock market, banks, all these other markets, all these other legacy financial institutions, they came back because they're being propped up. They died. Okay, they should have been left to die. They should have been left dead. Those are zombies. They're all zombie financial institutions because they were brought back to life and they're being propped up by printing money and by governments, by bailouts. No one bailed out Bitcoin. Bitcoin has come back from this last dip, from this last hit, from this big correction, from this horrible pandemic-induced crash. Bitcoin is back up and stable, and we're at like 7,500. Okay, it has done this with no stimulus package, with no trillion-dollar bailout, with no billion-dollar bailout. There is manipulation on Bitcoin by whales, but I mean, like everyone says, as this market grows, those people's grip will lessen because they're, $1 billion, half a billion, 100 million, all that money is worth less. So their power is worth less as more people come into Bitcoin, which I think more people will as it moves up. One of the biggest things is that bank, that Italian bank, one of the biggest banks in Italy, is now not through an exchange. They made their own exchange called, what is it? An innovative new platform called Hype. Called Hype. That's really funny. I just got the irony of it called Hype. But people in Italy, 1.5 million people that use that bank can now trade Bitcoin without opening an exchange account, without sending a picture of their driver's license and them holding it with a date, any of that, just through their bank. They can buy and sell Bitcoin. The United States, you have the Cash App, you can buy and sell Bitcoin. That's a huge thing. And I had made the point in the story that Italy is in financial turmoil with their new more nationalist government. They could move out of the EU. They could be the next Brexit. And if they are, like people like Pompliano and other massive Bitcoin bulls have always said that Bitcoin will be the reserve currency of the world. And Italy isn't. I see this move as them not even looking at the lira, but they're looking at moving Bitcoin into their financial system. That's huge. Moving away from the European Union, away from the euro, and integrating Bitcoin into their financial system. Those two things together are massive, massive news. So what do I think is going to happen with the halving? Same thing that's always happened. Going to dip, going to go parabolic, but I think it's going to be bigger. I think it's going to be bigger. And forget about the United States. Forget about the dollar. Forget about what's going to happen because of everything that's gone on, because of the $1 trillion worth of money printing. Because there's already been cracks showing, and they tried to plaster them with printed money, and it really just makes things worse because it's still weak, and they made the system weaker because they didn't fix it. They just painted over it. So, in short, halving is going to be like it always has. Dip, parabolic jump, but I think the parabolic move this time is going to be bigger because with all of the terrible things that are going on, you really can't compare Bitcoin to it and say, yeah, they're both moving the same way because they're the back end or what's holding it up is completely different. There's no banks, there's no governments, there's no stimulus packages, there's nothing holding Bitcoin up. It's standing on its own. It got hit, it got knocked down, and it stood back up. All these other markets got hit, got knocked down, and then governments and banks went and picked them up, and they're holding them up. They're standing behind them, and they can't hold them up forever. Well, that's what I think about Bitcoin and the halving. If you have any thoughts, yay, nay, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. Please crush the like button. I am Satoshi Sean. It was good hanging out with you. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next video.